people connected to it that get money off of it.
Correct.
It's the world economy runs off.
Right, and it's the same thing with our judicial system, Tom.
Yep. Yeah.
It's crime
Yep.
is a moneymaker in
Big
this
time.
country.
Big time.
And lawyers, oh my gosh, they love it.
Exploit it all.
They exploit it,
Mhm. Yep.
you know?
Yep.
And it has to be Ann's company that's the bad guys, because we can't point the finger at the lawyers.
Right. Right.
You see what I mean?
Right.
The guys that are really freaking doing
Oh,
this.
stirring the pot and cashing
Yeah,
in.
right. Well, we gotta have somebody to blame, so we'll blame the private prison company.
Correct. Right.
Okay, but yeah, this it wouldn't be about war,
Mm-hmm.
but it would definitely be about when we went to war, we'd go to war.
Right.
It would be a quick strike, done. Everybody see the world. You want to do this another day?
Mm-hmm. Right. Right. That's
You see what I'm saying? What I'm saying to you is what happens is I don't believe in America going to war anymore.
yeah.
And the reason why is, let's face it, look at how we go to war now. It's politicians
Right.
running the war.
Mm-hmm. And cashing in on it. Yeah.
I mean, I'm sitting there, the other day, I was watching a doggone video of the doggone kid that was a child actor that lived out in Colorado.
Mm-hmm.
Can't remember his name, I can see him. But he did a documentary on, he was following the troops in Afghanistan,
Mm-hmm.
fighting the Taliban and all that kind of stuff.
I haven't seen
And I'm watching these videos, and he's thinking, in his mind, it's amazing, these kids go out here and they're, heroes and all that kind of, great, okay? But how they were going about this, to me, I'm like, this is ridiculous.
No sense, right?
This makes absolutely no sense. We get two guys in the village. We see their motorcycles. We know if there's motorcycles, that's the guys.
Mm-hmm.
Because that's how they operate. They operate off their motorcycles.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So we got two guys, and what do? We send a whole freaking crew. And we come in from like 2 miles away.
Right.
We got 80-pound backpacks on. 2 miles away, we come into the village, running into the village to get two guys.
Right. Fear, chaos, yeah, all unnecessary. Right.
Completely
Right,
unnecessary.
right, unnecessary, right.
Well, you mean to tell me we can't go and take out two guys?
Right. Mm-hmm.
There they are.
Right. Yeah. Well, it's like, all right, we see a fly flying around here. Grab your pistol.
Right.
The fly with a
Fly
pistol.
with a pistol.
Right. What the hell? You don't need all that.
I mean, what a joke.
Just get a fly
I mean,
swatter, right?
and then you have people, I've heard people tell me, well, Dan, we don't know who they are. Bullshit. Bullshit, we don't know who you are. Listen, Vietnam, guys in the Vietnam, they could freaking smell them.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
You get when you're in a war zone area I've read a lot of books on this stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Those guys can sense who the bad guys are.
Right.
And matter of fact, even in those videos I was listening to them, they were going into these villages
Mm-hmm.
and they had all these guys eyeballing them.
Right.
And then they were moving.
Mm-hmm.
Now, we can't figure out that
It's psychology. It's psychology.
they're moving.
It's psychology
We
too.
can't figure out who the bad guys are. I'll tell you what, I'm thinking it's these guys.
Right. Well, cops can, as cops are driving down the street, you and I are walking, we don't pay any attention. Someone who knows that the cops are looking for them,
Right.
do
Sure.
all this action.
Right,
the cops
sure.
see it and
Right,
sense it all
right,
the time.
right.
And they're just out wandering around and, oh, this person's suspicious. And they go, oh,
Right.
because you and I, you just keep walking. Someone who knows the cops are after them,
Right.
and the cop is attracted there. Like,
Right,
so in war
right.
zones, you know the shadiness. It's human psychology.
Give me a break.
Human psychology doesn't allow people. So one of the guests I had on this summit is Marshall Silver. He's one of Vegas's top hypnotists. He's been on David Letterman. He's been on all these other shows back in the day. but he is a cold reader. And he actually was at this event in Orlando that I told you about a month or so ago.
Mhm.
And he got up there, and he was going to do a hypnosis show, but once again, there weren't enough people. So he showed up. He flew private jet to Orlando expecting the full house. And there was not the full house. So he switched it from doing a hypnosis show to a cold reading session. Now, cold reading, he pulled out a stack. He's like, all right, so he gave people 1,000 each. He said, I'm going to give you a die. You're going to pick the number on the die. If I don't get the number right that you pick, you keep the $1,000. He handed out to 4 people. He did 4 different ways of doing it, but he guessed the die that they put under the cup each time. And basically, so all he would say is like, okay, you picked your number, great. Say these numbers, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Just from them saying the number, he's like, you picked 3.
Right.
You're like, we hand the money back. You know, he can tell just by someone saying 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 what number they picked. Cold reading. So it's all psychology. In our human body, this robotic thing we are in can't, like, we have to be really
It's kind of like brain spotting.
Yeah, correct, right.
He's brain spotting.
Correct. You can see the
Right.
twitch. You
The
can
twitch.
see the
What happens in brain spotting, what happens is they mark
Mhm,
what happened. What I mean is they go like this,
mhm,
okay, with a pointer.
mhm.
And they can tell, and every time they'll go, every time I come to here, he twitches or
Right,
something.
right. Yeah.
You know,
Some
something
tell,
changes.
some tell, right, some
There's a
tell.
tell.
Yeah.
So they mark that.
Yeah.
They come back around, they go, okay, boom.
Mhm.
Now they know where that is in the brain.
Right.
You see what I mean?
Right.
Oh,
Yeah.
it's in this area. That would mean this.
Mhm.
You see what I'm saying?
Right.
That's what brain
So
spotting.
and then he did some other ones where he's like, so tell me before you were, you know. Then
Right.
he basically inception made the person choose a number 4, right? And he's like, and somebody in the front will follow what I'm doing. He's talking before you were, and he's talking to them and hypnotizing them to pick number 4.
Right.
And so he did the 4 different people in 4 different ways. So when you said people can smell it, it's human psychology.
Right.
We have the speaking ability we have, but we also have energetic
Right.
sensory. Like if you and I have this, like if we're in a room and we sense something,
Sure.
someone has that energy,
Right.
we know something's up. They're up to something. They're
Right.
scheming something.
Right.
It's just something we can feel. So before we even say a word, our energy can sense it and feel it, right? So it's definitely
Yeah, I mean, I've walked into places before and some guy
Yeah.
hates me.
you know it, right?
I'm like,
you can sense it, right? You just feel it.
I mean, his spirit was in enmity with my spirit.
correct, right? And you can sense it, yeah,
And I'm like,
right.
wow,
Yeah.
okay.
And you're like, am I thinking it? And you look over and they're sitting there looking at you like this. You're like, geez, what's going on here?
What's wrong with that guy?
Right.
You know?
And then, yeah, you sense it. And then, you know, when we're smart, our intuition will tell us, you know, if it's time to leave, right? And then it's,
I'm just saying, listen, this military thing is, it's a bunch of,
it's all money.
it's a money maker.
Politics, money,
Right.
lawyers, money. It's
Right.
all a
It's
system.
all those guys
Right.
making money off of this stuff.
Yeah.
And so here I am, this conservative guy,
Mm-hmm. Me too.
you know, and I think you ought to go kick the shit out of somebody.
Mm-hmm.
You know that? But the problem is I look at this stuff and I go, if I was running something like this, I'd just call up all the leaders
Mm-hmm.
and go, okay, so just kind of letting you guys know how I think about this.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I'm really not into your business. But if you start affecting my business, I'm going to call you up and say, you're affecting my business,
Mhm.
and this is how you're affecting my business. So you're going to need to stop that,
Or, right.
or you're going to find out that when if I have to get off my ass,
Stop it for you, right.
it's not going to be good.
Right.
Because it's when I do something, don't think of America in the past.
It's a fast.
Because when I do something, it's going to be quick
Right.
and it's going to be complete annihilation.
Right. Right.
In other words, you aren't going to be there anymore.
Yeah.
And your children aren't going to be there anymore.
Mm-hmm.
So, and then what I would do is after I get done talking to them, the first thing that popped up, I go hit it.
Right. Right.
And so, okay,
Right.
so,
Yeah.
you get this?
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
You
But
see what I'm saying?
I do.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is, you would get rid of all these wars. What I'm saying is, it's just a matter of showing people that when you say yes, and that's even scriptural.
Right.
Do you know that?
Right.
It says when you say
Let
yes,
yes be yes.
your yes is yes and your no is no.
Right. Right. Yeah.
You see what I mean? You would get rid of all these wars because they knew that, hey,
Well, here's the secret: the wars are on purpose to never end.
no, I know.
Right. It's currently.
Right,
That's the secret, and
Right.
the companies they're the most profitable are
Right.
run to keep it running.
Right.
It's kind of like sicknesses. They're not meant to be cured. They're meant to be prolonged, and
Right.
that's where the money is.
Yeah,
You don't
that's
cure it.
why. That's why the politicians want. You know, it's so crazy. You've got the people in America. Well, you know, he got us in this war, and you know, it's 10 years later. Yeah. Well, what do you think we're gonna do in America?
Mm-hmm.
We're gonna do a war for 15, 20 years.
Yep.
Yeah.
As long as it
As
can.
as long as we can do it.
Because
people are making money.
right, the whole system is
This whole system's
It's a
making
war.
money off of this deal.
it's a war economy.
It's a war economy.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just,
Yeah.
it's ridiculous.
Yeah. And
What goes on out here
Mhm.
is just
it
ridiculous.
is, yeah.
It's ridiculous. It's man. Here's the thing. All of man has God in him.
Mm-hmm.
It's just that they don't know they've got God in them.
Right.
You can even walk around saying, I hate God. Just walk around all day long saying, I hate God. It doesn't change the fact that God's in that guy.
Right. Right.
He's just unaware.
Mm-hmm.
But isn't that something that, this is why, here's another thing that I do not understand at all. But human beings, they have to believe that we need to coexist.
Correct. Right.
They have to believe that.
Yeah.
That's why that humanism thing is so, we gotta get together and we gotta fix this.
Right.
This is our only chance
Mm-hmm.
of fixing this, is we all have to get together globally.
Mm-hmm.
That's why that global message is such a wonderful thing to a human being, okay? Because it's our only chance to save our planet and save humanity, is we all have to get together,
Mm-hmm.
okay? And we got to do this, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so we think we got to coexist. The truth is, man, you know what? First of all, God says, well, you go to the east, you go to the west.
Right.
I mean, let's face it, bottom line is, like-minded people need to live together.
Right. Well, the way I see it is we're a body of humanity. And the cells over here are doing what they're supposed to be doing.
Right.
And the cells over here are doing what they're supposed to be doing. They aren't worried about, oh, I need to get over to the arm, or I need to get over to the leg.
Right.
Just do what you're doing.
Right.
Like, so the coexisting is understanding the body is what it is, and the cells, the 7.5 billion cells of humanity,
Right.
some are fingers, some are toes, some are hairs.
Right.
And you don't want to convince a hair that it has to be a heart.
Right.
You don't have to, you know what I'm saying? So that's the way I see it. Like, we're not meant to coexist in that manner.
Right.
We're meant to do what's ours to do.
Right.
And not be pissed off. I'm a finger and I'm pissed at that toe.
Well, I
I'm
know.
a finger, right?
Yeah, but that and right and wrong, good versus evil belief system,
Yeah.
wars.
Right. Those toes are assholes. We need to go kill the
Those
toes.
are assholes.
Yeah, we gotta chop the toes off.
I mean,
Like,
come
of the
on,
body of
it's-
humanity, right? So that's my interpretation of coexisting, is just do what you're supposed to do.
Right,
And
right.
we don't have to agree. on
Right,
anything.
but what happens is the world says, well, you guys can't go over here and be happy.
Correct. Right.
We,
We're hands. You can't be in the leg.
you mean to tell me you hands are going over here and you're going to be happy and we're not happy?
Right. Right. Yep.
Yeah.
Well, and then what the other thing of the coexisting is, in our body right now, there are thousands of wars going on.
Right.
cells that are not doing what they're supposed to be doing, and our white blood cells going after them like, hey,
Right.
you got to get out of here, right? So the white
Right.
blood cells are doing it.
Right.
It's not, we're not sitting here worried, oh man, my white blood cells are
Right.
flipping out. Like, hey, they're doing what they need to be doing.
Right.
But what happens is, in this war society we're talking about, the white blood cells have morphed into taking over,
Right.
and now they're not just killing the bad stuff, they're killing all the others.
Right.
That's
right.
where the war, you know,
Right.
and the greed from that kicks in, where now the white blood cells are kind of out of control.
Right.
And we have to have some regulation on, hey, white blood cells, keep in check.
Right.
Your goal is not to kill everything,
Right.
only the bad things, not the good
Right.
things.
Yeah, I'm just saying, for me, it's like, what is the problem? I mean, you look at America, obviously, there's a division,
Big time.
and it's a
Yeah.
pretty clear division.
Yeah.
So why can't the people that think this way go over here,
Mhm.
and why can't the people that think this way go over here? Well,
Stay.
but they can't do it.
Right.
As a matter of fact, if you stand up and say that's what should happen, they'll be mad at you.
Which, going back to the body thing, it's like, no, arm, you need to play with the leg. Like, what? Let the
Who
leg,
tells
let
us
the leg.
that?
Yeah.
But who's
Right.
telling us that?
The power system. The power system is trying to, well, no, you can't
But
just be an
what
arm.
I'm telling
you
you,
can't be an
even
arm.
the Christians,
Yeah.
if you went to the Christians who completely disagree with what's going on in America, okay, with the left, they would even say, well, Dan, we can't, like,
Just let the arms be arms.
that
Let the
wouldn't
legs
be
be legs.
good for us
Let
to
the
go
toes-
do that. My problem is that the reality of having, I don't know how many millions of people we got running around today
Mhm.
in America.
500 million, something like that.
This idea of we're going to be able to coexist anymore in today's climate,
Yeah. Right.
I don't see it.
Yeah. It,
And so what they're doing is they're voting
mhm.
to get their guy in power.
Mhm.
And then what do? They war so that guy can't do anything.
Yeah.
Well, what a way to live.
Well, that's their thing. It's like we're seeing it and we're confused, but it's like, okay, what's ours to do?
Yeah, I'm completely, we are completely a different place, but what I'm saying is, in their world, in their place, I don't understand why they can't, what is the thing that's keeping you, there's this thing that's in you that's telling you, well, that wouldn't be a right thing if we all went to the east.
The right and wrong. This the right
You
and
know
wrong.
what I'm saying?
It's the right and wrong.
Well,
That's
that-
wrong.
No,
I'm
we
right.
need to get along with these people.
Yeah.
Well,
No. People
you're
are
not gonna get along with them.
Mhm. Right. Basically, just stop trying to push your agenda on.
I
everyone
mean,
else.
they'll go all the way to a civil war
Oh yeah.
and start killing each other in the streets
Yeah.
before they go to the east.
Right. Yeah.
I don't.
All over ego, all over right and wrong. I'm right, and I'm willing to die for mine.
We're gonna go and fight you to the death so we can be in power and finally have this thing fixed.
As you're dying, I won.
I won.
I fought to the death.
Instead of, well, obviously there's a whole mess of us that kind of think this way, and there's a whole mess of us kind of. Why can't we just agree?
To disagree. Agree to disagree.
And you have your president. We'll go over here and have our president. We'll actually get something done, and hopefully you get something done.
Well, if you look at the states, that's kind of what's happening, you know. But then the states that are having some switches, you know, California is a total disaster. You know, all the states that have transitioned over.
They'll actually go to their death.
Yeah.
The
Think
state of
it's still-
California
it's still, we are victorious. Yeah.
will
We
go
did
to
what was
their
right.
death fighting for
We
their
did.
ideology.
We did what was right. Yeah. Thinking while they die. You know. It's crazy. It's insanity. Insanity.
I literally believe that man, without the understanding of God in them, literally is insane.
Yeah.
They are an insane being.
Absolutely. We are the craziest animal on this planet. We are insane. Because we think, well, A, in the right and wrong, but we think we're the ones in control of the universe. Individually, of the 7.5 billion.
This
it's
is
like-
why.
Yeah.
This is why this idea, this belief in free will, is a killer.
Yeah.
It's a killer to humanity.
Mhm.
It really is.
Mhm.
Because what they do is they believe in themselves.
Yeah. They believe they are the general manager of the universe. Y'all don't know, but
I'm making my choices,
It's my rules. Yeah.
and it's me. It's about me instead of about a higher being.
Right.
Okay?
And me being smarter than the rest of you. Apparently you guys are idiots, so I'm going to be the one that shows you.
And this idea of a higher being, this idea of a higher being, it just doesn't make any sense to them. But to me and you,
Yeah.
I mean, you come to me and say, I believe in free will. I don't even understand that anymore. Why would I do that?
Right. So you overrule God's design, right?
So seriously, when I look at the world, and you know what? The Bible says this too. You know, everybody thinks the Bible's bullshit. I don't want to talk about that. But the Bible says, hey, listen, man's without excuse because of nature.
What's that mean? Man's without excuse.
Look at this. Isn't this amazing?
Yeah.
This is freaking amazing. Okay? But, again, man, what we got to do is come up with something and just say, well, some gases got together and collided and DNA happened and here we are. Or whatever, right? I mean, it's gotten so bad. I was listening to a lady that's a doctor or something with Dave. She was talking to Joe Rogan. And she said even in the sciences today, I got out of academia because they're just making stuff up now because of their ideology. They're just saying, hey, research, it's got to be this.
Right. Research and prove this to be true, right?
Yeah.
Which can be done. You can
Right.
prove this to be
Right.
true. Cigarettes are great for you. Prove it.
Oh, you don't want to play?
Right.
Well, you're out.
Right. Well, that's been happening since the early 1900s.
Yeah, it's been
Cigarettes
going
are a
on.
great example, right?
Right. For a long time.
Milk does the body good. They
Right.
think that's true. That's a marketing campaign. Prove that milk. It's a marketing campaign. A glass of wine a day is great for you. Prove that. Smoking is good for you. Prove that. They proved that back in, doctors choose Camel. More doctors choose Camel than any other cigarette. I mean, marketing. And Edward Bernays is the one who started all this. Edward Bernays taught the women to smoke. The cigarette companies realized we're just not on 50% of our target audience. Women aren't smoking. He created for a Thanksgiving parade, he created a movement, a torch of freedom, to empower women to smoke. And now they doubled their.
But it's amazing how you can just so easily market a human being.
Yeah. We're gullible. We're more gullible than a sheep.
Yeah, it's just.
Believe anything, no matter how ridiculous, we'll believe it. I envision like when they're sitting there making some of these ridiculous plans. I mean, look at what the government's done in some of these planned false flags over. I mean, going all the way back to Kennedy and prior. World War II, like all the world wars had some type of plan to get us in. And yet we still don't believe the facts that the government not only lies to the masses, they manipulate.
Right.
And
Sure.
that's,
Sure.
no matter how many facts, oh, they would never do that. Okay. But
I mean, I'm not the old conspiracy guy, but what I'm saying is that there's so much money out there
Yep.
that people are manipulating things for their own gain.
Yep.
I'll tell you what, you look at climate control,
Yep.
man, that's just a completely new industry they're trying to make up. You know?
Yep.
I mean, you get climate control going, people are going to make a whole lot of money off of that.
Yep. Pay us not to ruin your crops and
Right.
No rain. Yep. It's wild.
So, so man is out there screwing around with the atmosphere.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
They're trying to control the atmosphere
Right.
now.
They're jumping into God's role, right? Which is the common theme of man, throughout history. God, take a back seat, God. I got it. Watch this.
Now I'm going to go control the atmosphere.
That shouldn't be any problems with that, right? It should work out perfectly.
Anyway,
I don't foresee any challenges with
you want me
that.
to put this thing on?
Oh, it's on. It's been going. Yeah.
Oh crap. It's on.
Oh crap! Oh crap! It's been
You're
going.
going to have to get rid of all
That's
that.
when that good stuff occurs.
But you know what I'm saying? Isn't it something how man...
Mhm.
It's the narcissism of man that says, we need to coexist.
Right.
We need to make this happen. And the only way we can make this happen, is to get together.
Mhm. Right.
And I look at that and I go, I don't know, how do you think they're doing?
Right.
You know?
How does my body analogy, like the whole
Right,
body,
right,
like,
sure.
look, the arm's an arm. Don't try to convince the arm to be a leg or a heart. Or like
It's just-
let the hair be a hair, let the ear be an ear.
It's
And that's
mind-blowing.
humanity. Out of 7.5 billion people.
I'm not, you and I aren't even in this world.
Mhm.
But what I'm saying to looking at the world, I go,
Screw it.
is anybody ever going to come to a conclusion that maybe we just need to go over here
Just be.
and you be over here? And, if we can love on you, we want to love on you. Just letting you guys know, we'd like to love on you.
Right.
I don't know if you're going to be able to let us do that,
Mm-hmm. And is it even necessary?
but that's what we'd like to do.
Yeah.
Hey, sure.
Right? Is he but that I just see it like, look,
It's just,
the fingers are being their fingers. Don't come into the finger and tell them you are screwed up. You suck because you need to be the arm.
no.
I mean, it's literally
Hey, guys. Hey, we love you.
Yeah.
You just have different views.
just keep.
Okay, so listen, we hope you're successful. Hope you guys do well, But, obviously you're not happy.
Right. Well,
And we're not going to be happy with that kind of ideology. So,
here's
hope
what
that
I'm,
goes well.
here's what I'm seeing. So based on what we're chatting about, so the body of humanity,
Yeah.
it used to be something happened over here, we'd never hear about it over here.
Right.
Nowadays, even everybody's kind of connected, so it's all interconnected. So stuff happens, and what used to only be important to this area, now everybody's like, oh no, how does that impact us?
Yeah.
So this interconnectivity kind of screwed up the system, because when everyone else was just doing their own thing, the American Indians, Native Americans were hanging out doing their thing.
I know.
We come in and ruin their whole gig, right? 'Cause
Right,
wait a
right,
minute,
right.
you're different. You need to be
Right.
like us.
And of course, they didn't communicate.
Right. So, our way or die.
Well, those people,
Our way,
savages.
our way or die, right?
Savages.
Yeah.
Well,
I mean, history shows.
you ever get
even
to take the time to get to know these people?
Andrew Jackson on the $20 bill would get shit faced with his friends and go hunting and just slaughter Indians. Why, women, children, just hey, let's go shoot some those savages and go hunt the Indians. Just when they're drunk, just for
But
fun.
the thing is, that even the Indians, had guys that were out there warring against each other.
Correct. The different tribes,
The different tribes were warring
That's it.
before we showed up.
So the bottom line is, when we're alone, we do our thing good. It's when someone comes in that tries to convince that finger they're not supposed to be a finger, they're supposed to be an
But,
arm.
all I'm saying, it's called humanity.
Right. Yeah.
Right? All I'm saying is that, obviously, a bunch of guys showed up.
Mm-hmm.
Nothing's changed.
Same.
Nothing has changed.
You're different. and
You're different.
I don't like you being different.
I mean, look at what happened in Rwanda.
Right. Yeah. Slaughter, just ridiculous.
All these people are different.
And the same, and they're in the same.
I mean, that's humanity.
Yeah. Yeah.
We see this with kids.
Yep.
Young kids,
Well, up until-
she's different.
Yeah.
He's different.
Yeah.
Well, he's a different color, or he's different, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, so the kids will bully
Yep.
this person just because they're different.
Mm-hmm.
It's just crazy.
Humanity. Yeah.
It's humanity. It's how we're programmed. But so this is just, the byproduct all that stuff we're talking about.
Right. Humanity.
Is what happens out there. And this idea that they're the answer,
Right.
the idea that humanity's the answer is just silly.
Yeah.
It's silly.
So my thought is, it just is. Like, and it's gonna be. It always has been, and always will be.
That's how this realm was designed,
Yeah.
is what I'm saying.
So yeah. So why?
This isn't on
Messed
order.
up.
This isn't something that wasn't supposed to. This isn't a mistake.
It's working perfectly.
This is not a mistake. It's literally a byproduct of humanity. And people want to think that, oh no, we're good, so since we're good, then that
Chaos is still
that
gonna be
can't
there.
be right. Well,
Chaos and challenge.
well, 2,000 years from now,
Same.
same.
Yeah.
So here's what I was going to say. The Bible, I'm just going to talk about this with Christians and whatever. But the Bible is exactly the way it's supposed to be. I can sit here and say, well, the Catholic Church got a hold of the Bible and they had two goals. Well, let's control the behavior of man and let's make this a moneymaker.
Right.
Okay? And so they manipulated some scriptures and we've got what we've got.
Right.
Okay, so the new covenant isn't as clear.
Right. Right.
But
Because that would
that's
usurp the
not
goal.
true.
That would usurp the goal. It's exactly as it needs to be, but it's twisted to.
I mean, if God would have just
Yeah. Right.
stopped that and made it just a book that said New Covenant and just laid out, well, okay,
Right.
this, see you go, there you go.
It's the Easter egg.
Yeah.
It's the Easter egg of the program.
See it,
It's
right.
the Easter egg of the program.
Right.
Seek and you shall find.
Right, and I've literally had Christians tell me this. Well, Dan, if that was true, God would want us all to know this. Okay?
One of
And
the
what
secrets,
I'm
yeah.
saying
Seek
is
and you shall find.
that the fact that every church out there, okay, when you walk in that building, they open up the scriptures. I'm going to get this thing inside. You go into every building and they all open this thing up.
Right.
They open this thing up. And they start teaching the law.
Right.
Now, they don't think they're teaching the law. Matter of fact, if you went and talked to them, they'd probably, and you say, hey, you're teaching the law, they, what?
Let me copy and paste this over here real quick.
But nothing's changed.
Right. Same thing.
I mean, nothing's changed. When Paul was talking to the churches in the epistles, the Gentiles, that would be like me and you going to Calvary Church in Boca Raton, Florida. I'm sure there's a Calvary Church out there. They all have one, Or First Baptist Church at Fort Lauderdale or Boca Raton. If you and I walked in there, it would be the same as Jesus walking in there today and going, what are you guys doing? Like if we walked in there and started teaching the New Covenant, I mean, it would be the same thing as you're reading here in the epistles.
Yep.
The difference is that we know the New Covenant. I don't think Paul did.
Right.
See, the problem is we read this book and these people believe that the people that wrote the book,
Knew it all. Understood it all.
that they understood the New Covenant.
Right.
I mean, you can't have the cross and Christ introduce a new covenant and then go out to the churches and tell them to start behaving.
Right. That twists people's minds.
And so they're reading, here they are, they're reading this thing that the building out there uses to teach the masses.
Mm-hmm.
And the validation of what we're talking about is in the message.
Yeah.
That comes from the book they open up in the building.
Mm-hmm.
That I and you would walk into, and we'd be in complete, I mean, it wouldn't be the same message.
Right. And remind people what the new covenant is. Because a lot of people think, I mean, no matter how many times it's brought up, I still, when I'm chatting with people, go back to the New Testament. Yeah. What?
Well, the New Covenant is in Jeremiah and Hebrews. And it says, I'm going to write my word in the hearts of my people. Well, the reason why he's doing that is this is done.
No. That's the Old Covenant. That's a summary of the Old Covenant, the whole book.
It's a representation of the Old Covenant age. He said, no, I'm going to write my words in the hearts of my people. No longer will neighbor show neighbor. No longer will brother teach brother.
Mm-hmm.
I will save them all. They'll be my people, to the greatest to the least.
Mm-hmm.
And I'll remember their iniquities no more.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that's in Jeremiah 31, Hebrews 8 and 10. You know? That's it. And so,
that's where I see it as like a program, like a programmer. Like I see this as an Easter egg. You have to search to find it. And the Easter egg, not as in the Easter as in the celebration, but in a program. There's Easter eggs where hidden beneath this, if I click here, I skip all these phases. I go right to the end. Like this is an Easter egg that gets you the message that you have to seek to find. And once you find it, the way I see it is, if this is the program, it's written on all our hearts. Meaning each human has the calibration of what's theirs to do and what theirs to not do. And it's following the guidance from God, the Creator. Written on our hearts. We don't have to become the students. We don't have to have the degrees. We don't have to, all that is on, it's all here. Programmed
what's
within us.
happening, Tom, is they're being told that they need to go here.
Mm-hmm. Prove to be worthy.
They need to go here instead of here. See,
what works are you doing?
they have no understanding.
Mm-hmm. Right.
You're telling me to go here? You're telling me to hear instead of see?
Mm-hmm. It's all here.
What?
Mm-hmm.
You're telling me to go here? Well, who's that? Well, maybe it's the devil.
Mm-hmm.
See, here we are again, back into the old covenant, right? The devil's alive. And they're convinced of it because they see the bad stuff.
Jesus fulfilled that. That's done and over. Sin is
So-
done. The devil's done.
Yeah, so they just... I mean, this is scary, you know, to them. But what I'm saying is when they, I mean, the new covenant's in here. You can go find it, but you got to get rid of your law goggles, you know.
People are
You got to
waiting
get
for
rid
this.
of your right, wrong, good versus evil belief system. But they keep reading that thing. They're going to keep being under the law.
Well,
Because
and they're
that's what it is.
And they're looking for the second coming. He already came back.
Second coming.
They're waiting for the third coming.
Still waiting for the second coming.
Right, but it's a
The
third coming.
Jews are waiting for the Messiah.
The first, right.
And the Christians are waiting for, you know,
The second coming.
God to show up and, you know, show everybody he's God.
And God's like, what are they missing? Even Jesus, when he already left.
But this is the point. You couldn't write this thing good enough. I mean, it's like when you talk to an atheist or agnostic. Well, how much evidence are you going to need? What, let me ask you something. What would be the evidence? What would be the evidence? I mean, what would be the evidence that would finally, that you could look at and smell and feel and touch for you to know there's a God? What would that be? You see what I'm saying? I mean, Christ went walking around planet Earth and people said, who the hell's that guy?
Right.
Right?
Here's an analogy. So this just happened yesterday. So talk about proof, right? So I just did an online summit and people purchased some things, and I had one person reach out and say, hey, I'm having trouble getting what I purchased. So I reached out to the person they purchased it from with the only email I had from this person. I said, hey, this person's having challenges. Sent it. Next thing you know, the email comes, they have access. This person came back to me, I can't believe that company. They're claiming that I registered under this email when I'm receiving emails from this email. And I said, you're receiving the emails because I sent them the only email I had on file, which is the one you're referencing.
Right.
So it means you did register under the other one. No, I didn't. You can't tell me that. I'm like, so you're telling me they just guessed your email address randomly out of thin air and they got it right, and that's what happened, is what you're telling me. He's like, yeah, I did not register under that. I'm like, okay, so once again, they just guessed it out of thin air. Right? And he was fighting to the death that I did not register under that email address. They're sending me a community, and I showed them, I copied and pasted. Here's how they have your other email address. Now can you see that you did register? No, I didn't register with that email. I said, really? Like, you can't win.
Right.
It's clear as day,
Right.
yet you can't prove it if they don't want it to be proven.
Yeah, this is what I'm saying. You know, last time, it's been a while since we got together. Last time we talked about the atheist and agnostic thing, and I really didn't get into it. But you know, most atheists and agnostics I know, I mean, they need evidence. Okay? And so agnostics, for them, it's, hey, we're here 80, 90 years. We die, and that's good enough for me. And when they get thrown in the dirt or get burned up, they think they're done. Like their body, this is who they are, right? Which obviously that's not who they are, right?
It's just a vehicle. Yeah, it's just a vehicle.
It's not who you are.
You're in this car
Right.
for this time, but
Right.
you're eternal, right?
Right.
Yeah.
So, but they're okay with it. Okay, good, fine. And the atheist, he's going to go through life and he's going to hang on to, believing in himself, and I'm not going to get hoodwinked. I'm not going to be tricked into some nonsense because I'm a pretty sharp guy. Okay. And so an atheist, he's going to have the evidence, which is fine. Okay, again, if you look around, there's a lot of evidence out there, but it doesn't really matter because the truth is, at the end of the day, what in the world would be the evidence? My point is this: if you want to know God, the way you come to know God, or know that there is a God, let's say, I want to know that there is a God. Okay? The only way that can happen is you have to have to be able to get over yourself.
And that's a big hurdle.
And you have got to be able to die to this self-belief. Okay?
Die to self.
And then, when you die to your self-belief, you open up space within you that recognize that when I start my day tomorrow, instead of me believing it's me making it happen, with my own will, my own power, my independent self, I'm going to believe that there's a greater being, and I'm going to trust him in my day. And I'm walking through the day without thought. And I'm going to find out, I'm going to discover this thing I didn't know. I didn't know this thing.
Go through
Could there possibly be? Could it be? You see what I'm saying? So, I guess the only thing I would say to an atheist and agnostic is I think they're missing out. But I'm saying the same thing to people who go to a church building and say, Jesus, Jesus. See? So So we can't know God if we're walking around believing in ourselves. You're never going to discover God. I mean, if you get a question, you're walking out there saying, well, how would I know there's a God? Well, you can't get that answer walking around believing in yourself. That's not going to happen. I mean, this thing happened to me and it happened to you, but, I'm not walking around trying to conjure this up.
Just take it one step at a time.
This is just a knowing. I don't need to sit here and give you 14 experiences, right? This is just a knowing. This is the thing that's been settled in me, and over the years, it's validated. But this idea now today, for me, walking around, believing in myself and my own free will, that doesn't even compute with me.
It's God's will at all
Doesn't even
times.
make sense.
It's God's will at all times.
Why would I walk around believing in Dan? I don't even understand. That's about as dumb as it gets, for me anyway. So, man, I think life's just so much more exciting.
What's coming next, right? Wonder what's coming next.
I think it's so much more exciting believing in a greater or higher being.
Without the judgment of right and wrong, without labeling, oh, that's bad, or that's terrible, or this is, oh man, it's just going through it.
I mean, this isn't like, well, I need to go practice this meditation, or I need to go do this thing and try to develop more and heighten enlightening. I mean, this isn't complicated. But it's a hard thing for man to say,
it's not me.
it's not me. That's a hard thing. Well, unless you can do that, you're not going to know God.
It's not me.
Because you want me to tell you how to know God? That's how you know God. You're not going to find God walking around believing in your own will and your own power. And that's why he said, you're going to have to partake in my flesh and my blood. So, this book, listen, it's all there. It's all there. It's just that, I've talked to people who've grown up in certain things, and Dan, I just don't see that. Well, yeah, you're not going to see it.
Right.
Not in that belief system. When you read this book with that belief system, you're not going to see it.
Because you're thinking, what do I have to do? How do I need to be? What should I do? What should I not do? To be good, to be worthy. They
are just convinced that they have a purpose. They're here for a purpose. And they've been told that.
Right. Well, one of the best-selling books, especially in the Christian community, but in the world, is The Purpose-Driven Life. People want to feel like they have a purpose. So when there's no self, when there's no will, what is the purpose of me, of you, of
listen,
humanity?
Nobody ever talks about this. Nobody tells humanity this. But listen, the only reason why you're here is to know God.
You're here to know God.
That's the only reason why you're here. And so, who tells people that?
Your purpose is to know God.
They think we're here to, for the I'm here for the embetterment of mankind. That's why I'm here. I'm here for the betterment of mankind. So, I need to work. That's why I need to grab a hold of self-improvement, because I need to become a better Dan. That way I can feel better about myself, and I can help mankind.
Do these things which are good.
Do these things which are good. That's going to be good for all
help me be worthy.
Human beings.
Help me feel worthy.
On this planet Earth, because this is very important.
When the main purpose of humanity is to know God. We're here on this journey to know God. Yet, ironically, not many people are talking about God. Isn't that amazing? If you talk about God,
Well, they
look
say
at-
the God word, and they say Jesus, Jesus, and they'll even say the grace word.
Mhm.
But it's all connected to themselves.
Mhm. Wow.
So, listen, this doesn't have anything to do with me.
Mhm.
Doesn't have anything to do with me. And my reward is to wake up every morning and be able to wake up and say thank you. That's my reward.
Mhm.
And with that, God does all this stuff.
Mhm.
And I go, wow, it's pretty cool, Father.
Mhm.
You know, thank you. You know. But, I mean, people get all caught up in this God thing because, you know, there's bad things that happen out there, and a good God could not do that.
Mhm.
So, because you're telling me a God would do that, I'm not going to believe in that God.
Mhm.
Because I'm not going to believe in a God that'd do a bad thing.
Mhm.
Well, I don't know. I guess we're back to the Garden of Eden. You know. So
And who are we to label
it's-
what's good and
so
bad?
yeah,
Right.
so it's a hard thing. It's a hard thing because people have had things happen in their life,
It's easily labeled bad. Yeah,
and
easily.
it's bad, and it's
Sounds painful.
and in this world, I would say it's bad.
Yeah. Right, from our perspective,
But
it
they're
is.
they're pissed off about it. You know.
But from
it's-
God's perspective, it's what it is.
So if there's a God out there, He wouldn't have had that happen.
Mhm.
And so I'm not going to believe in a God that would do that. So that's where we are.
Mhm.
But listen, all that stuff is just, listen, this is all happening to get our attention.
Mhm.
So I'm tapping you on the shoulder, man. What else do I got to do?
Do I have your attention yet?
Hello?
Yeah.
Hello, what else I got to do?
Mhm.
You know, I love you that much. I love you that much. You know,
Mhm.
that's like me as a parent.
Mhm.
Hey, buddy, you know, this thing's called parenting.
Yep.
And sometimes it's going to feel like I don't love you.
Mhm.
But I love you so much that I'm willing to say no.
Right.
I love you so much that I'm willing to help you with this.
Mhm.
That you are upset at me about.
Mhm.
It's no different.
Yep.
It's no different. It's the same thing. I love you so much.
Mhm.
Hello? Hello? What do I got to do?
Mhm. Well, that's kind of the question that a lot of people that I deal with, and I just did a seminar with thousands of people around the world. What's mine to do? So, okay, I'm here to know God, so what do I do? When I go through the day, what's mine to do? From God's perspective, it doesn't matter.
That's like me retiring.
Yeah.
People go, Dan, what are you gonna do now? I mean, you gotta get a job. You gotta,
Do I?
You gotta go volunteer. You gotta go.
Really?
You gotta do this. People starting to tell me what I need to do,
Right, yeah.
what I ought to be doing.
Right, right. Yeah, you're like, okay, interesting perspective, yeah.
Okay, well, you know, I don't need to figure that out.
Appreciate your feedback, right?
But, thank you so much. They need me to participate, man.
Yeah, and they feel they got to help you figure out what's yours to do.
It would be a wrong thing for me not to do something.
Right. It's not wrong.
It's just, it's incredible.
Yep.
But, you know,
That's funny.
we operate off this right and wrong, good versus evil belief system, so we judge God.
Right.
That's what man does. Man judges God.
Mm-hmm. And God really doesn't care what we think. God,
He doesn't operate off that belief system. He's either looking at you going, I have no idea what you're doing. I meant it for love.
Right.
Okay, I guess you're mad at me.
No worries, no concern, man.
Okay, well.
Yep. Yep. We can't see that perspective, and yet we.
I
try.
have friends of mine that literally believe that their life that they're living has these bad things taking place in their life because they were a bad person.
The karma thing.
Like they did
karma.
bad things.
Because of the bad things I did, that's why I'm going through this.
I was just on the phone with a buddy of mine the other day, and he was telling me that.
Mhm.
Dan, you know, these things are happening to me because, you know, I did, you know, some really bad things growing up, and I did, you know, made some bad choices, and I did some bad things. So these things are happening to me. And I'm like, wow.
Stuff happens to anybody and everybody.
Wow.
No matter, right? Yeah. Well,
You know?
well, they think it's a balance. They think it's a deposit and receiving. You're like, okay, if I give these good works, I'll receive.
The God of
this.
reward and judgment.
Yeah, yeah,
Reward and punishment.
yeah. Yeah.
It's just bizarre. But anyway, so